since Omicron. Falcon hates puns and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast.
Well, thank you so much. It's good to be back after a week off. That was a good break, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to do another one of these.
I'm glad you enjoyed the break. That's the only thing you're getting off for summer.
True fact.
Yeah.
Being an adult sucks. If I was running for president, I would implement a summer vacation for adults. We would stagger it so that the entire country doesn't shut down for 3 months a year, right? So based
Probably
on when
wise.
you're born, you're assigned a summer vacation that you have for your entire life.
Wow, okay.
Would you vote for that?
I mean, it wouldn't be the deciding factor in how I vote, but I would be in favor
Correct.
of it. Like, it wouldn't be enough
But
to sway me
yeah.
up, but I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, it would go in the positive column that you write for every candidate.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had this idea a while ago, and I was very proud of it. And I was like,
And then you filed it away under things that you'll never get around to accomplishing.
yeah, I filed it away under good ideas that will never mean anything in the real world. There are a lot of those, actually. Blah. Yeah, so thank you. I'm glad that I got a day off from the podcast. That's the only thing I'll ever have off again for the rest of my life.
I mean,
I don't know.
unfortunately, like your system, I don't know when you're born, so I had to just pick a day off. Like, I couldn't assign it to you based on your date of birth because I don't know when you were born.
True fact.
I just had
Listen,
to guess one. I hope it wasn't inconvenient for you.
Yeah, no, totally worked out. That's a good thing about a year is there's 365 days, so like picking one at random isn't necessarily gonna ruin anything, right?
Well, I mean, it could.
It could, but I just feel like the odds are low. That's all.
Sure. Odds are in my favor.
Yeah. May the odds be forever in your favor.
I hear they're making more of those movies.
How? The books are done.
Oh well. Like that's
Is it
like that's gonna stop them.
Is it prequel stuff or is it?
I don't know. New
Okay.
Hunger Games movie, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
I don't. That doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Which will see the release of their Hunger Games prequel. So it's a prequel.
Okay, there we go. I'm down. I'm down with prequel concept and Hunger Games. Pretty fun world build. Interesting.
Yeah.
If a little, pragmatically, it has some questions.
I mean, movies were not great, in my opinion.
I liked the first one.
The first one has merits. I will give it that. But I mean, it's a battle royale movie that's like PG-13, so you can't show any of the things that are happening.
Katniss shoots plenty of dudes right in the chest with arrows. What are you talking about?
No. She shoots a bow towards some people, and then the camera cuts away, and then there's some people lying on the ground with some arrows in their chests. Those two events might be related, but you don't technically see it happen.
There's implication, but it's not explicit. I see.
Right.
All right. Well, I haven't seen those movies in a while. Maybe they are more implied than I remember them being. Anywho, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if there's any positive reaction to them when they come out, and we'll see.
Yep, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's not coming out till November next year.
Oh gosh.
So
okay.
we got
Then
time.
Forget about this entirely.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a podcast like in October of next year, and you're going to be like, "Remember Hunger Games movie?" And I'll be like, "Nope, not at all. Please explain it to me again."
Would not blame you for it.
Yeah.
It's far enough away that forgetting about it is reasonable.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yep.
You agree with that. So yeah, speaking of buzz around movies, I got a ticket to go see Top Gun this week, so I'm going to go see that.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really planning on seeing it, to be honest with you. Like
Okay.
I like some Tom Cruise movies, but some of them are just complete misses.
Sure.
And the first Top Gun is like fine.
What a rave review.
Yeah. Mostly I think my biggest problem with is that I was expecting better like dogfight style
Mm,
action.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and a ton of the movie's on the ground.
Mhm.
Like so much of the movie, there are no planes at all.
Right.
And when they are in planes, it's not. It's like dudes in cockpits being like, "Oh no, there's Russians," and it's like a Russian plane flies by the screen, and you're like, "Huh."
Right. It's the Hunger Games of aerial combat. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can do a Top Gun movie where there's awesome dogfighting and aerial combat and planes are blowing up and it's super fun to watch, like, all right,
Mhm.
I'm on board with this. Let's do that.
See, I think the reason I don't remember anything that happened in Top Gun is because I watched Pearl Harbor a lot, which is also actually has aerial combat from what I remember in it.
It's
Um,
true.
I mean, there's a inordinate amount of that that's just like on the ground as well. But
Yes.
it's a Michael Bay film, so it's kind of long and dull in places, but lots of action, and that's what you really need to know.
It's true. Pearl Harbor is a love story with some action scenes in there.
That's true. That is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you agree because, yeah, I went to see it and I was like, there is a lot of lovey-dovey stuff going on. What is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, I can't recommend it, I don't think.
No,
It
well,
almost feels like a movie that was like, hey, dudes, bring your significant other along and she'll be into the romantic stuff and we'll blow up some things for you and you'll both be happy.
yeah, that might
I don't
be
know
it.
if it worked.
Who knows?
It's super long. I remember too, it's like the Pearl Harbor happens and then the movie's like, we're going for another hour and a half. And I'm like, wait, what? Are we? It's like, well, we have to do the American raid on some Japanese held islands. That was the immediate reaction to Pearl Harbor. And I'm like, I don't think we do. I think the narrative of Pearl Harbor is probably over once the bombing is done. But nope. Needed to have an American win in there.
It's true. So basically, the reason why I watched this because it was one of the DVDs we had lying around at my house when I was a kid.
Okay.
Which I will, which is why I remember it as a good movie. It's because we had like 20 DVDs and I probably watched them all 100 times.
Just name one other movie that you had lying around.
The Da Vinci Code.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I recognize it's probably not as good as I remember, and it's also way longer than I remember. I said it was long. Would you like to take a guess at how long it is?
3:15.
3 hours and 3 minutes.
I was close. It's a long movie. And
It's
I'm
a
telling
long
you,
movie.
Pearl Harbor gets bombed. There's some aftermath, and then there's another hour and a half left. It's crazy.
Would you like to guess what it is on the tomato meter and the audience score?
I'm assuming the critics don't like it very much at all. Probably
Yeah.
closer to like a 60 for them.
Is that your final answer?
You're laughing 50 for them?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
24.
Whoa! They really don't like that one.
They really don't like that movie.
Woof. Okay. And then audience score is probably higher because audience is like big, dumb, brainless, exploding movies.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're, I mean, not great though. No one's ever like, man, you know what a great movie was from the 2000s? Pearl Harbor. So I'm going to give it, the audience score is probably closer to that 50-60 that I was thinking.
66.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That tracks. I really, man, I knew the critics didn't like it. I did not think it was that widely panned. All right. Yeah. Let's talk about Pearl Harbor, honestly.
Ugh.
How do we get there anyway?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Okay, Pearl Harbor is dead to us. Tom Cruise movie, gonna go see that one. Yeah. Anywho, what else is going on in the world? I started playing Elden Ring.
Yes. The Elden Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you winning?
it's good. So we've talked about before, I have this threshold of where I need it to be hard. If it's too easy and I'm just rolling everything, I get super bored. But if it's so hard that I hate my life, I stop playing it. So there's this really nice, narrow, sweet spot that game developers have to find for me if they want me to keep playing their game.
Right.
And so far, I would say that Elden Ring it's in the spot.
Okay.
I'm definitely dying a lot, which no one is surprised by because it's a Dark Souls game.
Right.
But I feel like it's not so insurmountably, stupidly difficult that I'm done.
Are you doing any particular kind of challenge run? I've seen people be like, no upgrades or only this weapon, no armor.
I think those people have probably played a Dark Souls game before and probably Elden Ring before too. So no, I'm not doing anything challenge related whatsoever.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But yeah, it's good. I will tell you though. So I went to this castle that's been overrun by these demons, right?
Okay.
So I'm making my way through, and it's difficult. Like, I'm dying a bunch, but I'm learning the fights and how these different demons, how they fight, so I can react to what they're doing, and I'm making progress, right? And I'm feeling good about that progress. And I get all the way through to the end of the castle, and there's this final boss.
Right.
And the final boss is impossible for me to beat. So it goes from difficulty level 75 on 100 to 110 on 100 at the very end. And I was like, well, that's a letdown. I wanted to complete this thing. And the game's like, no, you're not. Come back later, maybe when you're stronger and you can do this.
You just got to get good.
That's the whole thing. Just got to get good. And I understand that. But I made the mistake of assuming that the Dark Souls developers care about normal dungeon progression in other games.
Oh, no.
And I figured they'd give you a dungeon and the boss would be harder than the dungeon, but in the same ballpark. No, not at all. I even went back with a coworker. You can do co-op, right?
Yeah.
And we both tried to kill it. Nope, not even close. So it's brutal, but it's just one of those things. A lot of Elden Ring is come back some other time when you're stronger and try this again.
So you feel like this boss was absolutely just like gear checking you, basically? Like you couldn't do it with the equipment or the stats that you had. You'd go and level up. You could not be one as
no, because there are people who are way better that have beat Elden Ring naked with like a stick.
Right.
So those people could beat this naked with a stick.
Okay.
But not me. And again, I'm not complaining that it's hard. I'm complaining that it's way harder compared to the rest of the environment it was in.
I love the idea that Elden Ring is the internet's version of like Naked and Afraid. It's like, we're going to go in there, no clothes, and a stick.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what we can get done.
And survive and thrive.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is. For some people, anyway. For other people,
some people, yeah,
get all the armor and all of the magic abilities and face roll your way through it. Because if you know what you're doing, you can do that apparently. But not me.
No.
Yeah, and apparently I'm doing everything out of order because again, not interested in proper ordering of a game either. Is Elden Ring?
Yeah, I mean, proper ordering is an interesting idea. I mean, it doesn't care about established progressional layouts of like open world exploration where there's like you would have in a lot of games you would have to travel somewhat out of your way to find an area that you just can't beat at the moment. Elden Ring is like the real world's not like that. Like this world is you can just very easily wander into somewhere that's gonna rifle stomp you. So yeah.
Like one of the very, very first things you see when you leave the tutorial area is a knight on a horse, and if you try to challenge him, he will kick your ass. So yes.
Have you found the guy that's like you don't have any wives or like you have no hoes or something?
You're maidenless.
You're maidenless. Have you found him?
Maidenless, but it basically translates into no hoes.
No hoes.
A few people tell you that actually. They're like, "Hey,
oh, really?
You look like you're maidenless," and you're like, "Shut up! It's true, but leave me alone."
I've seen like you can fight him and like the other NPC vendors and stuff.
You can.
Have you bothered to try and fight him?
No, because there's another mechanic in the game that are bloodstains, and if you find a bloodstain in the world, it'll show you another player and rewind how they died in this area.
Oh, okay.
And around every vendor, there are a couple bloodstains, and it's them just getting ruffle stomped. And I'm like, so the only enemy around here is potentially this vendor, and they won easily. So I'm just going to leave them alone. Thanks.
Right.
Yeah. You can attack them though, sure.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's no such. I don't think there's such thing as an invulnerable NPC at all.
Right. Which,
Yeah.
yeah. If you kill everyone that offers you story progression, I guess you just wander around doing whatever until you find another. Or is
I
there no
suppose so.
is there no sense of story progression in the first place? Like, what's going on?
I have not felt any sort of story progression at all.
Okay.
And I'm like 15 hours into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's this
fair.
intro kind of cinematic where it's like there was this queen and then she disappeared and then her kids were fighting over this Elden Ring and it broke into pieces. The end. And you're like,
Mm.
but so
What am
what
I
do
doing
I
here?
do? Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Some people talk to me about things, but none of it seems all that connected.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm trying to talk
Right.
to everyone and read everything I can find because I've been told that's where the story is in reading stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun with it. It is not
Yeah.
my game, and I will not try to play it.
That is totally fine.
Yeah.
It's definitely Dark Soulsy.
Mhm.
But yeah, so apparently, okay, so just one thing real quick. There's this starting kind of ruin of a church that you can
Okay.
go to, and there's a safe space there.
Sure.
And I went there and I was like, okay, whatever. There's a blacksmithing table that I can't use because I don't have any tools yet. So,
Mhm.
and there's a vendor I can't buy anything from. So I just never went back.
Okay.
And I'm seeing other people like riding on horses and other people using like these cool magic things. And I'm like, I wish I had some of that stuff. I'm like, they're in the same zone that I am. I feel like I should have those things. And then,
Mm.
yeah, like 5 hours later, I go back to the church for something else. And there's this lady standing there who's like, have a horse. And I'm like, oh, thanks for the horse. But you had to go back to the thing. She's not there the first time you go there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm missing things. Is apparently I need to revisit areas.
It's got a bit of
often.
Metroidvania in it.
Yeah, it kind of is. Good point. Good comparison.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's part of why I'm missing things. Is I didn't get a hang of revisit places you've been before.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anywho, enough Elden Ring. It's good. I mean, enough people have said that it's good. I think the general consensus to be that it's good. Whether it's for everyone, it's not.
Right.
But it can still be a good game.
What is its Metacritic score, I wonder?
Ooh, good question. Hey, what's up, Mr. Imperfect?
96.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty well received by the community.
Mm-hmm. It's true facts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Halo.
Hey, yeah.
So just one thing. I was listening to a podcast that was talking about a bunch of stuff, but one of the things they focused on for a bit was Halo.
Okay.
And so in the finale, there's a moment where Cortana and John 61, whatever his name is, John
117. Yeah, 117.
Is it 117?
Yeah.
John 117 agree that Cortana's going to take over.
Yeah.
And so she does, and from that point on, Master Chief doesn't say much of anything.
Okay.
Like, he's robotic. Like, a couple times characters address him and he doesn't respond. He's got the helmet on, so like you can't quite tell what's going on in there.
Okay.
Whereas before, John 116, especially since he removed his emotion pack, is like gregarious and he's talking to people and he's very emotive.
Right.
But since Cortana takes over, he's shut down.
Right, because Cortana's running the show.
Right. It's the implication anyway.
Well,
no, the theory that was brought up by this podcast I listened to was that this is a prequel to the Halo games, the show is, and that from this point on, John 116 is more of a silent protagonist.
Okay. 117, we literally just covered this.
I'm sorry, 117.
It's like, I wouldn't have brought it up if you didn't take a time to ask me what it was and then immediately not listen to my answer.
Fair.
And I mean, obviously this is set before the games.
Right, because Reach hasn't fallen yet.
Reach hasn't fallen. They haven't found a Halo, which was the first game. And maybe they're going to move into him being a silent protagonist in season 2. But the point of him being a silent protagonist is to, like, for the player to supplant themselves in him.
Yes.
And given that they gave him a character, took off his helmet, and we know that he's a person underneath all that, really defeats the entire point, right? Like, it's like, you can make him silent now, but we know he's just a dude being held, like, captive by Cortana.
Or, like, dead or something.
Right. Like,
yeah.
It won't work now. You need to just start with that and keep it that way.
Yeah. I mean, look. I'm not saying it would be a good choice if they decided to do that, but it could be a direction they're choosing to go with it. Because otherwise, the ending is like, what? Like, what's the other explanation?
Cortana's just controlling him and doesn't feel the need to answer to other people.
So temporarily, she's going to give him up.
Maybe. Like, I would assume so.
It'd be a crazy choice for them to be like, Cortana's in charge forever now.
I mean, here's the thing. In the character design for the Master Chief, they have his typical Mjolnir armor, which includes the AI port chip on the back of the helmet. So in the Halo games, you see that that's where he's like slotting Cortana in and out of, right? They have
Correct.
They have that slot chip in his helmet in the show. But in the show, Cortana is injected into him at the base of his skull. They cannot remove her from him without cracking his skull open. So why there's that port chip on the back of his helmet, I'll have no idea. But they can't get rid of her. Like, you can't delete her from his system. She's in his brain. Like, she's like a goo in his brain.
Right.
So she can
observe everything he's doing from like an outsider's perspective somehow.
Well, she can see through his eyes and his note, like. So,
right, but isn't there a scene where she's watching him get down from like an outsider point of view?
Probably, yeah, because she's still an AI, and so she can still connect to computers and cameras and stuff, right?
Okay.
So she can still watch him from the outside, but I believe she can also see him through the inside.
Ah, all right, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, taking control of him would be no good if he goes outside of visual range. Like.
Yeah, not useful that way.
So I assume narratively she'll give up control at some point. Maybe the chief will get hit by an EMP and that'll knock her out of his system temporarily while she reboots. Like, there's ways it could happen. Narratively, I imagine it will, but who cares? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you can try to polish a turd. It's still a piece of shit. So
yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's just, I still blows my mind that they're like, let's get the Halo IP and kind of sort of grab elements from it, but not all of them.
Yep.
And not follow the established lore or world build all that closely.
Yep.
I don't get it. All right, cool. It's enough Halo, I think. We're done with Halo.
Yep. We're done with Halo.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah.
I
mean,
been watching Barry on HBO. Barry season 4 is up.
Barry?
Yeah. So it's a HBO kind of comedy dramedy, I believe is what they call it.
Okay.
Got Bill Hader in it in a pretty serious
Barry.
role.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, Barry.
Anyway,
it's back. It's good. It's really good. I've said this before, but I think TV shows and movies really struggle kind of nailing humor while also being able to nail really intense negative or other style emotions that aren't just humor.
Okay.
And kind of balancing those has been a hard thing for a lot of properties, but man, they nail it here. It is just so consistently good. Really able to flip back and forth between those things in a way that doesn't feel awkward. Anyway, it's good. Barry, in case you don't know,
can you please try not to pronounce this show's name in an American fashion? Because it genuinely sounds like you're saying strawberry. Like, yeah, but his name is
Barry.
His name's Barry, like with an A.
No,
Barry. It's not strawberry. It's
he's an American. He pronounces his name Barry. Stop appropriating his culture.
I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. I'm suppressing it. But
Yeah.
I'm
Stop
not
suppressing his culture.
I'm not asking him to change. I'm asking you, when talking to me, please try and pronounce the show differently than the word berry, because I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay. I'm going to stop saying it entirely then. So Bill Hader plays a character who was a Marine, and he comes home, and
Does the Marine have a name?
Nope. And then it's I believe it's John 116.
Okay.
And so someone he knows in the military gets him hooked up doing contract killings.
Okay.
And so he gets involved in that. And then the show is basically him trying to break out of that lifestyle, but really having a hard time with it.
Okay.
So it's similar to Dexter in that way, right? And Dexter ended pretty poorly. And I'm kind of worried about how this show is going to navigate the end, because there's going to be an end. They're telling a complete story here. I don't think this is something that's going to be going on for 10 more seasons.
Right, but Dexter came back, didn't it?
It sure did.
New Blood?
I didn't watch any of it.
Fair enough. Well, It got a 77 on Rotten Tomatoes, so...
Is that audience or critics?
Both. They're within 2 degrees.
Oh, that's interesting.
So,
okay.
Yep.
All right. So it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've read some stuff about it, and just nothing about it's all that interesting to me. So
Fair enough.
So they tried to make another ending after they realized they flubbed the first one and kind of stuck it, I guess. So that's good. Good job, Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Dexter's great for the first 3 or 4 seasons. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Really enjoyable.
Yeah. Sticking endings is hard, as it turns out.
Turns out.
Bummer.
Speaking of things that are going to be interesting, the Obi-Wan show's coming out soon on Disney Plus, is what I hear.
That's true. It's going to be another Disney Plus show that's going to show up like 4 hours after we finish the pod.
Is it coming out like today?
I think so.
Oh, God.
I think it's Wednesdays.
May 27th, so it's a couple days away.
Oh, it's not Wednesdays. Why did I think it was today?
Don't know.
Oh, Friday show. Okay, that's better. That'll be good then. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I think that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I will not watch Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I will always tune in for him.
100%.
Unless they absolutely butcher it, and then that might turn me. I don't want to be held to anything.
Good call. Way to leave that door open for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's probably the best consistent thing about the prequels. I think the prequels have a lot of things wrong with them, but I think his portrayal of Obi-Wan is probably consistently the best thing.
Yeah.
Across the board. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's still, everyone keeps making the point. It's on Tatooine. Like every one of these Disney Star Wars shows has been on Tatooine. Like they can't get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't really avoid it here because of what the show's about and the timeline it's placed in.
Yep. It's true.
So I do think it'd be funny if Obi-Wan's like, I gotta watch over young Luke here, and then he spends like 90% of his time off planet and just like hoping nothing bad happens to the kid. He spends the first year doing it, and he's like, this is the most boring thing I've ever done in my entire life, and just like bails.
He's like,
goes off world.
He'll be parties. Fine. He's got a burger. Like it'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, look, we let him keep the Skywalker name and put him with family and is on the planet that Darth Vader was born on, but Darth won't find him. Don't worry about it.
He's hiding in plain sight.
The plainest of sight. Harder to get more plain sight.
Yeah.
That's just George Lucas story building, though. Not ever the best thing.
It's true.
No, not the greatest.
Not the greatest.
No. So what's one thing you predict from the
Obi-Wan will live?
Show? That he will survive the show?
Yeah.
Bold. The boldest of predictions.
I predict this will recover some of the ground of the last season of was it Rebels, where old man Obi-Wan fights Darth Maul again.
Right, but he's old man in that.
I mean, he's pretty old in this.
He is, but if I remember right, it's like his hair is completely white with that Obi-Wan Darth Maul
Sure.
fight,
Sure. Yeah.
and Ewan's not there.
Well, here's the thing. It's just I want that's what I want because I don't want to watch
Ah.
Rebels, right? And I
Right.
don't want Obi-Wan Kenobi, this old hermit character, to be going on like 2 adventures in his seclusion and hermitry, right? Like hermitude. Like if he's like just chilling in some hut in the desert, that should be what his story is. Not, oh, I went on this other adventure, and then I came back, and then I fought Darth Maul again, and then I went on with Luke. It's like he's doing too much. Like, leave the old man alone.
You know what I want
Yeah.
is I want. Okay. So this would be good. What if like Inquisitors from the Empire find Luke,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't tell Vader about it because they want the glory of finding him and returning the kid, right? So it's just a non-stop cavalcade of
But-
Empire showing up and Obi-Wan single-handedly just like defeating all of them.
But hold on. They want the glory of finding Luke,
Yeah.
but Vader's the one who wants him. Like, the only one person who will give them credit for finding Luke is Vader.
Yeah. So what they want to do is they want to surprise Darth Vader with this, right?
Okay.
They want to be like, Lord Vader,
I
check
could-
this out. It's your kid. You thought he was dead. He's alive. You can train him to be on the dark side. It'll be great. And Vader's like, you're my number 1 guy, Inquisitor number 87. And then you
Right.
get all of the kudos.
And who's stopping them? Other Inquisitors?
Obi-Wan. It's all by himself. He's just that badass that every time an Inquisitor and his crew shows up, Obi-Wan murders all of them. And every episode is just another different crew. They're bringing like AT-ATs and Obi-Wan's taking them all down. They're bringing chicken walkers and they've got like hundreds of stormtroopers and Obi-Wan's just like pew pew pew.
I feel like Luke would have noticed this even as a child and be like, "Hey, remember that old hermit who single-handedly took down AT-ATs like at your
No.
house?"
It's further in the desert. They land like a couple miles away, right?
Why?
For a sporting chance.
Chance. The Inquisitors have a flair for the dramatic.
Exactly. There you go.
Okay.
The drama of it all.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's the most exciting thing we can do if he doesn't leave Tatooine.
Yeah. I mean, or I don't know. Someone in Tatooine figures out that Luke is Vader's son somehow, and Obi is then killing people on Tatooine to try and cover it up, make sure it doesn't get back to the Empire. Maybe.
Okay.
So he's just like killing scum and villains and
yeah.
It's
a hive of scum and villainy, so there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can just invent bad guys. Like, you don't need to always pull from the Imperial well, so to speak. I don't know. Frankly, I don't. As much as I want an Obi-Wan Kenobi show, I don't want him doing too much because
Interesting.
activity is bound to draw attention, and like his story is, I was hiding in the desert for 20 years. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Under the incredibly difficult to discern name Ben Kenobi. In retrospect, that's one of the funniest lines in Star Wars. Obi-Wan, you think it's old Ben Kenobi?
I mean, here's the thing. You can retroactively at this point make that totally fine by just making Kenobi a really common name.
Oh, it's Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Smith of Star Wars.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Although, okay, so in the Solo movie, the Imperial recruiter asks Han what his like family name is, but he says it like, who are your people? What's your planet name or whatever? So I feel like the surname is a planetary or community name. And he's like, "Oh, I don't have anyone." And he's like, "Oh, right, you're Solo then."
The dumbest moment in that whole movie, possibly.
I mean, it would be much better if there were just lots of people running around with the surname Solo.
Yeah.
And then when they find a family, like they take on they like. But here's the thing: you're getting into way too nitty gritty and just like really boring stories to make that work. And let's not do that.
Yeah, reasonable.
So I don't know. Is Kenobi the name of a planet? Just make a planet called Kenobi. Be like, oh, he's out in the Kenobi sector.
It's a huge galaxy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. You can have a
Yeah.
Kenobi planet 100%.
There you go. Fixed it for
Millions
you.
and tens of millions and billions of people whose last name is Kenobi in the galaxy.
Exactly. Hire me, Disney. I will fix your shit.
Fix all of your weird past story issues. Good call.
That is what I would do.
Ooh, also, I want Force Ghost Qui-Gon to show up.
Okay.
He doesn't have to do anything. But like if Obi-Wan's lonely and feels like he failed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like totally down on himself. If like a Force Ghost Obi-Wan shows up and it's like, look, man, it's cool. Like
So
you didn't fail, you did your best, right? Just kind of gives him a nice little pick-me-up.
So at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Yoda slips it to Obi-Wan that Qui-Gon was researching some mysterious Force shit powers.
And there's a bunch of that in Clone Wars too. Yeah.
Right. So it's possible that one of the things that Obi-Wan is digging into in his seclusion is communicating with Qui-Gon. So it would make sense for him to show up, I imagine.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't feel like it'd be shoehorned in as something
Right.
that doesn't make any narrative sense. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I hope they do that. That'd be good.
Yeah. No.
Whew. All right. Well, do we have any GSL or
No, GSL is not
ESL
happening.
stuff?
I think we have ESL because I was watching some of that games today. It's
Mhm.
all regional qualifiers for Valencia.
Right, for Valencia.
Yes. Spoilers: Serral is still like undefeated at the moment.
Not too surprising. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a bracket, Wikipedia, for the love of God. Masters Last Chance, Africa, IEM Katowice. Where's no ESL Open Cups? Show me Valencia. Show me the DreamHack in upcoming events.
Yeah. Come on, Team Liquid.
Serral already won this tournament. Why are you showing me it? I generally can't find the bracket. It's only showing me recent events, not up. There we go, finally. What do we got? Let's look at regionals. Europe. Elazer is getting out of his group first over Raynor.
Who?
Elazer.
Laser. Way to go, man.
Yeah.
He's been working hard.
Yep. Group B, Hero Marine and Lambo. I think that's kind of expected, to be honest. Yeah, Group C is Serral going 6-0. Up next is Skillus, which is interesting. But then I look at the rest of the group and go, yeah, that checks out.
That makes sense.
Group D is Showtime and Showdown. Showdown is over Clem at the moment, which is interesting. Yeah.
Yep, that's weird.
These groups aren't finished because they're doing that thing where it's like, we got 8 players in a group, so the groups are played over 2 days. So, like, they come back to the group later on. Like, you do half the group now and half the group later.
Okay.
So no final results. These positions might change. And then we'll do NA, and I don't think anyone cares about the other regions.
No.
Epic and Australia. I mean, interesting. Scarlet's in 4th with Trigger above her as well. That's interesting.
Trigger.
Yeah, Scarlet hanging out in the middle of the pack. Group B is Neeb and Peely Peely. The other person we'll have note is maybe Masa, who's chilling in 4th under Disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's fun about NA is it's like Neeb and Scarlet have the ability to take everything, and then
Mhm.
after that, it's kind of like everyone's sort of on the same level. I don't.
Well, I would put Australia above everyone else, but like probably
Yeah, it's
around
like his
Neeb and
own.
Scarlet. Yeah,
Like it's its own tier two. Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
I mean, Epic is above Australia. It's coming out first in Group A so far. So I've never even heard of Epic, the American Terran. So
Yeah, me neither. I don't think so.
yeah. Again, gotta go play these groups again, and then there's the playoffs to find out even if they qualify for the main event. So, yep, lots of DreamHack still to come.
Excellent. Should be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
In the future.
True facts. Oh, I'm just looking at something.
Hmm.
Okay, if for the regional qualifiers, Europe's first place spot is $15,000. For the main
Good chunk of
event,
change.
yeah, for the main event, DreamHack first place is $15,000.
Mhm.
So it's the same. Winning Europe is the same as winning everything, and NA is only 8,000.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
that's fair. Latin America is 6,500. China is 6,500. Taiwan and Hong Kong is 4,500. This is only interesting to me, but I'm sticking with it. Oceania is 4,500. It's interesting. Yep, that's all. Yeah.
Well, keep it going, guys.
Yep, I'm just interested to see how they're spreading the money out across the player base. That's
Yeah,
all.
and it seems
Yeah.
reasonable. I don't think
Oh
anything
yeah,
here I'm
Europe.
complaining about at all.
Europe absolutely has the most players, and apart from South Korea, the best players, like the largest percentage of good players, is another way to phrase that.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, so it seems reasonable. Is that the only StarCraft happening? I think it is. Yeah, nothing's happened in GSL.
Yeah,
Yep.
big long breaks in the GSL world, which is by design.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to do what it's designed to do, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, anything else going on in the world of nerds and nerdettes?
I don't know. I don't think so. Seems quite. I mean, I guess there was a new trailer for Thor Ragnarok, which you of course will not have seen.
Did
Not
you watch it?
Ragnarok. Not Ragnarok. Yes, I watched it.
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
So there was some controversy around one of the scenes in the trailer.
Ooh, controversy.
Controversy. Where a male character gets his clothes blown off and a stadium full of people oogle him. And people are like, double standards much. If that happened to a woman, it would be awful and there'd be outrage. But it happens to a man, so it's allowed to be funny.
Yeah, I mean, so it's groups, right? So one group, this happens, they're mad. The other group thinks it's fine. But the group that thinks it's fine, if it was a female in that situation, would be outraged. And the first group, who was mad about the dude being naked, would just be aroused and be cool with it if it was a woman who was naked in that scene, right?
I'm confused by these groups.
By your groups?
You need labels. I need a graph.
Group A
Give me a
and
pie
Group
chart.
B.
give it to me on a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
No, well, it's just interesting that's the part that people are taking away about, because I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, oh, we have Lady Thor and all these characters, and I don't know, obviously I'm trying best not to spoil it for you about who's in this trailer. And I'm like, this is just exciting, and it's a Taika Waititi film. Like, how are you not... Like, how is this the takeaway, that there's a character who has no clothes and is oogled by a crowd of people?
Right. No, the takeaway is this is effectively a sequel to Ragnarok, which is widely beloved, and everyone loves Taika Waititi, and how he saved the Thor character is one of the best success stories in the MCU.
Yeah.
So more of that, absolutely. Let's do it.
Well, let's do it. Yeah.
100%. So it's pendulum stuff, right? So it used to be that
I
Hollywood was
mean,
all about using
was-
female nudity in movies, and it was funny, or it was used to titillate the audience, and no one said anything about it because it was run by dudes and they didn't care.
Right.
And so we swung the pendulum to try to make it more equal. And instead of stopping where it's like, maybe let's not do this for anyone, we swung it a little bit too far and said, let's have a dude be in a situation that would be considered offensive if the roles were reversed, right?
I mean, sure, but sticking it in the middle.
The middle is we just don't do that with any race and play it for laughs. Any race, any gender and play it for laughs.
Rafts.
Rafts.
Right. But the middle of don't do it for anyone is just saying, well, you can't write this scene.
You can write it, but don't play it for laughs. Like the tone that you're doing this in makes a difference. Like Cersei Lannister does a walk of shame in Game of Thrones, where she walks naked through the streets of King's Landing, but it's not supposed to be funny, right?
Right.
And so it's a wholly different thing. If you're doing it to make fun of the fact that, ha ha, this character is naked here, lol, isn't that a funny joke? It's a different thing than having a different approach and different way that you're portraying it, right?
Right. But isn't there also room to say, well, it can be funny if this person is suddenly blown naked? Like, if this character was...
Yes.
Like,
so
isn't
center could also be, everyone does this. We do female characters blown naked in the scene, and it's hilarious. We do dude nakers who are naked in the scene. It's hilarious. That is also center. Yes.
Right. Like, I'm just thinking of, like, Dr. Manhattan windmilling on the moon or something, you know?
Yeah.
Big blue naked dong just flopping about. It seems fine to me. I don't see why people care.
Right. That's the thing. Like if it's just it happens and everybody is equal opportunity being made fun of for being naked, then great. Let's roll with that. There's no reason to get mad. I agree with you.
Okay. So how do you feel about the She-Hulk TV show coming out?
I watched the trailer for that because it's on my list of I don't knows.
Right. Yep.
Right. And I don't know. Everyone's complaining the CGI looks bad, but
I mean, it looks fine.
It's not supposed to come out for a long time, and I'm sure they'll clean that up in the coming months.
Sure.
So I'm not worried about that part of it. I love Tatiana Maslany. She stars in Orphan Black, which was a BBC America show a few years ago.
Okay.
Where she plays clones, but who of her, like all the same character, same physically character, but they've been raised differently in different family environments.
Okay.
And so she's doing different versions of herself, like 8 different clones, and just nailing it. She is so talented. So I'm excited for her. I like her a lot. And I'm glad we've got Ruffalo Hulk in it. He's a fun character.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with him being there, and he is a fun character. I just feel like he needs his own thing. Like, he's gone so many movies and TV shows where it's like he's a side character. It's like when's Hulk gonna get his own show or his own TV show or movie? You know?
Well, ever since they neutered him in Infinity War, I don't know. Like Hulk is murdered. So have we talked about this? Did we have this conversation?
Probably.
We did.
I think we did it in our podcasters commentary mostly, where the Hulk doesn't get angry anymore, and like he's rage.
So it's not just the rage. So it's clear in Ragnarok especially that the Hulk is his own person. The Hulk is not Banner. Right. Hulk is Hulk. Banner is Banner. They don't get along. They clash. So in Endgame, it's Banner. It's not Banner coexisting with Hulk. It's Banner. Hulk is dead.
Well,
because Banner's big and green, that's not Hulk. Hulk is his personality. Well, and he's gone.
Well, maybe Maybe.
Or suppressed or something. This is not coexistence.
Maybe he's suppressed and he's swapped the conscious with the physical. So now, if he gets too depressed, just an angry, mopey Banner comes out. Like, I mean,
that would be funny. Yeah,
he's Banner's personality and Hulk's body. So Hulk's personality and Banner's body. It only makes like that tracks. Like
logic, logic reversal. Yeah,
that's exactly how I picture it.
I'm saying Banner in Endgame says, "I found a way to coexist with Hulk," and Hulk is dead. He is gone. He does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird that Banner says that. Banner says a lot of things in that movie that are wrong. Like his explanations of time travel are also very bad for how it actually works in the film. So he's struggling. Bruce is really struggling right now.
Well, I mean,
you're right. He should have his own movie.
He should. Yep, he should. That's my hot take on it.
I wonder if Ruffalo's going to get sick of the part and like leave before that even happens. That'd be interesting.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. At the moment, he doesn't have big parts. It's like, oh, what? You want me to do 2 weeks of shooting once every 4 years? Sure.
That's true. It's not like he's like burned out.
Right. You want to pay me $15 million for 2 weeks worth of work? I'll do it. So actually, I learned something the other day, which is all of the original Avengers got an Avengers tattoo on them after the Avengers movie, right? So Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, they got this old school Avengers logo tattooed
the
on them.
actors did.
Yeah, the actors, yeah.
Okay, I think about the characters. I was like,
no,
really?
No.
Go ahead, the actors, right?
Yeah, except for Mark Ruffalo. He bitched out of it. Like everyone else got the tattoo, and he was just like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." And that's my headcanon for why he doesn't have his own show or movie. He's like, no dedication.
Yeah. He's not a true believer in the MCU.
Exactly.
Wow. So like Jeremy Renner does?
Yeah.
Wow, right. That's interesting. Did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good explanation.
Mm-hmm. That's my headcanon.
I just want Ragey Hulk to show up again. He's fun.
Well,
I don't know that he needs to be Ragey Hulk all the time, but like, man, he hasn't shown up since.
You want uncontrolled Hulk, not just like Hulk smashing stuff.
Hulk in Ragnarok is controlled.
Okay.
He's hanging out. He's having discussions. He's not just raging out all the time. It's still Hulk.
Okay. What do you think?
Right?
What do you think he brings to the conversation?
Not a whole lot.
Okay. Okay. Excellent.
He's a lot more fun when he's smashing stuff, but he doesn't always have to be smashing stuff. That's all I'm saying.
I just don't see him being useful in any other situation other than something needs to be smashed.
But I mean, stuff needs to be smashed all the time.
That's true, and I'm not arguing that. You're the one who's saying I want him to do non-smashing things.
I do sometimes. Look, it's balance. Like, I'm okay with Banner being around sometimes. I like Hulk being around sometimes. I like Hulk smashing things sometimes. I don't need all the time any one state. We can mix and match. It'll be fine. It's fun that way. That's what Hulk's fun for.
The She-Hulk trailer showed Banner smashing stuff.
Good.
Yep.
I'm down. Let's go.
Cool. Yep. Seems like
so the thing about She-Hulk is that She-Hulk doesn't get huge.
No. Well, she gets bigger, but she doesn't get huge.
Right. So like in the comics, she's an attorney.
Mm-hmm. She's an attorney.
And so she's like dressed well and like very smart and businesslike, but like green, which is fun. Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know that we're gonna see a big, huge, ragey, roided out version of She-Hulk, but maybe we will.
I mean, I believe she still gets angry and she still smashes stuff based on the trailer. But she's definitely also just, I'm a green person. Take Instagram photos with me and I'm going to keep being an attorney. I mean, the show officially is called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. So
right. So in the comics, she defends heroes from lawsuits that are brought against them.
Okay.
So that's what her thing is. That's what her shtick is.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the comics, she, as her regular persona, is not very confident.
Okay.
And when she's She-Hulk, she is way more confident and a lot cooler. And so that's kind of, she has to, right, that's her big conflict.
Right. I have to Hulk up to do my job.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so she feels insecure about it because she's like, well, why can't I feel that way when I'm me? Like, why do I have to be green
I mean,
So that's kind of part of the story there. I don't know if they're going to do any of that in this though. They might completely change it because they've done that with everything else that they've put on Disney Plus.
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. I'll give the first couple episodes a go. We'll see how it rolls.
Excellent. I had no intention of watching it.
Fair. If it's amazing, I'll let you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think it will be amazing.
Probably not.
No. I don't know. What do you think about Moon Knight? You think Moon Knight was amazing?
It was enjoyable, and I think that's enough.
Okay. So your threshold is enjoyable then.
Yeah, I mean, for enjoyable, it was a little long, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like there's a whole lot in the middle where they go find some rich dude and like break into one of his crypts and have a little battle out the front for no reason. Just to get like a star map to be like, hey, it's over here.
Right.
I feel like there's a lot you can cut from the show and just be like, well, we had to go pull a heist on like an actual tomb that wasn't just being held by someone that one of the characters used to know, but we're not going to address how they used to know each other and why this conflict is important. Like, just have a heist movie. Have a heist episode. It'd be way more fun.
I mean, I really like heists, so I will never say no to a heist in TV show or a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're always fun.
Yep. Not enough good heist movies coming out.
Good
in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last heist movie to come out?
Is Red Notice a heist movie?
I don't know what Red Notice is.
It's a Netflix movie that was not very good.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, it is a heist movie, but it's not a good one.
Fair.
So
they're trying.
Well, I don't know. I seen that movie, and I don't think they were trying. I think Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was like, I just want to make some money. And they probably did. I think Netflix threw a bunch of money at them.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a list here of most nerve-wracking heist movies. But it's like Ocean's 8, and Ocean's 8 was not a good movie.
Nope. It's like the heyday was when Ocean's 11 and The Italian Job came out within like the same 2 years.
Right.
That was fantastic for heist movies.
Yes, it was. And it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, I can't think of a good one since then. Money Heist, says Mr. Imperfect. Oh, someone has...
Money Heist?
Someone recommended Money Heist to me. I think it was one of my coworkers the other day. I think it's Korean.
Okay.
And he really recommended it too. So, Mr. Imperfect, you're not the first person to say that.
So I found Money Heist, the 2017 thriller TV show. 5 seasons.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I have not tried it, so I can't recommend it. But that's 2 people now who have been
Espanol.
like, yo. Oh, is it not Korean? Is it in Spanish?
Yeah. All of these actors look very not Korean.
Not Korean. Oh, I thought it was Korean. It's all the StarCraft on my brain, I guess.
It's fair.
And that other Korean show, Squid Game.
Squid Game.
On the Netflix. That's
not a heist movie.
Not a heist movie.
But really good. Okay, well, if I want to watch a good heist TV show, by 5 season 4.
Yeah, maybe give it a try.
Yep. Maybe give it a try. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, cool. Was it time to wrap this up?
Ant-Man was a good heist movie.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Ant-Man was a good heist movie.
I mean, it was a good movie that had a heist in it.
I think don't know.
That's a better way to
put it. Heist movie.
I mean,
what do you think it is?
I think it's a superhero movie. It's a superhero with like a dash of heist. There's like they plan a heist, they start the heist, the heist falls apart. Right, but the heist falls apart in like 4 seconds, and then they're just
it always falls apart. There's no heist movie that's like, and everything worked perfectly. The end.
I mean, Ocean's 11, everything worked perfectly. They had to improvise like a couple things.
No, it is.
Right, but in Ant-Man...
You're right.
In Ant-Man, they're like, all right, I'm going to jump down this thing. You got to deactivate the lasers by the time I get there. And then he gets down there. The lasers deactivate. He's in there. And then the bad guy's like, haha, I caught you because I knew you were doing this. And then after that, it's just superheroes fighting supervillains. Like, they don't go back to the heist and make it successful. The heist is over at that point.
It becomes punchy Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. You're right.
Like, it's a good movie. It has a heist in it, but it isn't a heist movie, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, they tried their best.
Need more heist movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get on that, Hollywood.
We wrapping up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. All right, cool. So that is gonna be it from us. This has been Falcon Paladin and Somicron with another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour. Support it directly at patreon.com/Somicron. Also, there's merch at falconpaladin.store. We're live at twitch.tv/Somicron every Tuesday/Wednesday. Check your local listings. And also the VODs show up on YouTube. If you just search Falcon Paladin Hour out there, you will find the Somicron's YouTube channel where he puts the VODs.
Facts.
So if you can't make it live, that's a good place to go.
Yep.
And until